Yeah, but he wouldn't lie about that. Not because I don't think he would as a character. I think narratively you can't have him give exposition and us.
That's a lot.
Yeah, because it has to be true to us, the viewer.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Macross Frontier. I guess technically now we are in the final 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 23, 24, 25. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
But we won't.
well, technically we're not watching the final episode today. We're not in our
Mhm.
final 3 recordings. We just happen to be in
Yeah.
the final 3, though.
Yeah. Things are they're spicing up. The SMS went its own way, but Alto and Luca stay behind.
For
Yeah.
their own reasons.
And apparently, they found the Vajra homeworld.
I don't think that was necessary, though.
I mean, not necessary.
I don't think it's necessary for the Vajra to have a homeworld. They're a space race with like colonies that they can put down anywhere. They can literally nest anywhere. It'd be like, oh, we found the original cockroach colony. It's like,
I mean, you can say
I don't think
same,
that was necessary, though.
I mean, you can say the same thing for humanity.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say I found the original human city, right? Which one?
Or homeworld, which would be Earth.
It's different though because we're not like super populated all over the place yet. We're still spreading out, and we're not like the Vajra. The Vajra can live. There's a reason why I used cockroaches as my example, because the Vajra seem to be able to live everywhere. Like they're in deep space, they're in wreckage of spaceships, they're on active spaceships, they're on planets. They can just be anywhere. So having a homeworld doesn't matter when you're a nomadic species that can just fold across the galaxy.
Well, remember what Grace said at the very end, that she found the true queen.
Cool, but they have more than one. You know, if you don't say it out loud, but you still shake your head no, and you mouth the word.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
No, they don't. See, that's the thing. You have been under the impression that the Vajra that got killed in that attack was the queen. Or a queen. It wasn't.
I don't know why I'd possibly be under that impression.
Because it wasn't.
Because it was only just doing everything a queen would do. Like commanding the Vajra and laying eggs.
No. Remember, okay. I guess I can say it now. Because it's a spoiler, but we're probably going to see it in the next couple of episodes.
Are you 100% sure?
Yeah. Remember what Leon said in the original debriefing of when he was setting up Vajra. The Vajra that broke away from the glass and was trying to break away, and they had to melt it.
That they have the ability to make weaponry on the fly?
No.
That has the armor of the Valkyrie.
No, that's not it.
Those are things he said, though.
Those are things he said, but that was not the important point. The important point was describing the particular Vajra. That particular Vajra had no central processing unit. In other words, it was not really an individual. And he actually mentioned that that's a way to control them, right? In other words, these were bioweapons that could be taken over. That was the issue. And it was like, oh, they're bioweapons in this sense. That was the thing that was said all the way back to that episode. And everybody was kind of shocked, right, about it. So, what happens if you find the one true queen of the Vajra?
I mean, my process here is that we're probably going to do a Ender's Game. What, for people who haven't seen Ender's Game or read Ender's Game? They've got like, well, I guess technically, sorry. The problem is that my mind just skips around constantly. So I was about to describe Ender's Game, and then I was automatically jumping to the egg thing at the end of the book, and like I didn't know where to jump in. The element that we like kill off their well, I guess technically in Ender's Game they had multiple queens too, so it wasn't sort of that sort of thing either. That we would kill that one, and then the rest of them would just become a nothing thing, and then there would be an egg. I'm just saying that. See, I don't know. I can't like one for one it here because for one thing, you're introducing a concept the show hasn't fully come around to yet. But the fact is that we are making queens.
A queen, at least.
Well, yeah, but you're saying, no, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just... You can't nod and agree with me when I'm disputing a thing that you said.
The thing is...
You said that's the true queen, and I was like, well, there's other queens. And we already know that Renka has been called Little Queen before. And I'm like, well, we're just making queens. And you're like, no, there's not other queens.
as in, yeah, humanity. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's other queens. And you're like, nah, not really. You're under the misinterpretation that the other thing was a queen. And it's like, well, okay, but we're making queens. And then you're like, yeah, we are. It's like, that goes against what you just said that you disagreed with me on.
I don't know. I think hopefully it will make more sense when we watch the episodes.
Turns out this doesn't get introduced until the final episode, and it just spoils me for everything.
Well, it gets fully explained in the final episode, but
which we're not watching today.
Yeah, all the pieces are already here, and that's the kind of thing. Is like, do I say it now or do I wait for later? It's like, I mean, it's not that. I mean, you put together the whole viral thing, music thing. You put all together everything except for that one final piece where you were like, no, they killed that queen, so it's kind of like.
Well, it's because I mean, again, they're making queens, so it's like, what does it matter? The other queen thing, I mean,
yeah.
Obviously, I'm very hyperbolic. So, what if I say, "What does it matter?" You don't have no idea what I mean. Let me talk about anything. That's what I mean. If we're making queens, and it doesn't matter. Literally, I'm very reminded of Star Trek Voyager novel, where it's after the series. It's one of those novels that's set after the show is over, where technically, by Voyager's understanding of things, we've destroyed the Borg. Mm-hmm. But there's somebody at the Starfleet Academy that's obsessed with the Borg, and she tries to make herself the queen of her own collective using 7 of 9's nanites. So, Renka is a queen. She could do this sort of thing on her own.
Well, she's called the Little Queen.
Because she's a little girl.
That's half true.
She's a big girl on the inside.
No. Half true about her capabilities and what...
About her capybara.
Yeah, what she's meant to be. What the end game really is. Grace's end game.
I mean, clearly it's to control the Vajra. We've already said this.
I think it'll make more sense when we watch.
My problem here is that we've basically already just said how the entire path of the show is going to go. Like, literally the only nonsense we have left to solve is the triangle shit.
Yes. And, well, the exacting mechanics of it as well is, I think, I'm not conveying exactly how it works.
Well, we already know how it works. It's all the fucking gem shit. The Vajra have the gems inside of them. We've been collecting the gems. Ryler has a fucking, person-sized or Volkswagen-sized gem on his hand. Ryler's probably listening to this shit every day in his little house, playing with trains.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like Cheryl's singing another song again.
Yeah. We should get into the episode so that we can see how it shapes out.
All right, let's go ahead and watch.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I'd be more concerned about the fact your mother's backing off of something.
Lanka. そろそろ到着だ、ランカ。
Yeah, the least you could do is sharing what you're thinking about with your brother, who doesn't remember anything.
バジュラの星
Cool story, bro.
I mean, I don't think he's clear on what's going on, so
Oh, again, he doesn't remember anything, and he's having his memories withheld by Grace. So the fact is that she could be sharing that with him. So, otherwise he could know something.
yeah. Okay. I mean, again, I think in a situation where, yes, that's true, but Ranka is also trying to figure out her own memories, right? So
the only reason I could think, by the way, I did pause on that a number of times, thinking, oh, who are the characters going in different directions?
Yeah.
It's just characters from the show. I thought maybe that, well, because, we've seen like the Macross 7 and 5 in the earlier episodes going in different directions of the galaxy. I thought it might have been that sort of thing. It's like, no, they're just all triangles, different characters. The only reason I can think of her not sharing it is the implication of she doesn't actually know that that's her brother.
I don't think she does.
That she hasn't put together the vision of the guy whose face is literally shadowed in her memory with the guy who's standing in front of her, even though they both have literally a harmonica hanging off their chests.
Yeah.
またアイランドを2つも放棄か。
これでフロンティアの環境並行曲線は自己復元不可能領域に突入する。
短期的に見れば効率的です。姑息な延命手段だよ、所詮。
ハッカやはり新統合政府に救援を求めるべきではないのですか。
旅を諦めて消え
Yeah, I hear the Macross 7 is somewhere nearby.
選択だな。SMS が脱走した件も噂になり始めてる。沈む船から逃げるネズミのようだと。
旅は間もなく終わるでしょう。では諦めるのではなく。
Well, 4 months.
いいえ、それ以上のゴールを持って。
Total galactic domination.
脆いもんだよな。狭くて息苦しくて絶対逃げられない檻みたいだと思ってたのに。
Yeah, Alto's stupid idea that the sky is somehow bigger than space.
隊長がシェリルと付き合ってるっつうのはマジっすか。
いきなり何を。
噂ですよ。SMS の脱走に加わらなかったのもそのせいだって。
プライベートな質問は却下だ。バルキリー乗りのジンクスを知らないのか。作戦中に女のことで人をからかうといきなり撃墜されるという。マリオマ。
Ah, damn it, they gave him a name, which means I gotta add him to the board now.
これはこれは。隊長、後でサインもらってください。
Also, Alto has to be like the
17,
latest,
18.
I would say the latest person in a Macross series to get promoted to the head of a squad. Like, what, 3 episodes from the end? That's when he gets a squad?
へえごまかさなきゃいけないんだ私とのこと。
Although this is very
together.
much a Hikaru Minmei situation.
Yeah.
だから手出すなっつったのに。
Legitimately, I've got a toxin in my butt. Don't touch me.
私だってその女の子なんだし。
いいから座ってろよ。今のご時世じゃめったに手に入らない新鮮な食材なんだぞ。
Bottled at Loom,
ね、乾杯しましょう。乾杯。
the now defunct colony.
なんでもいいじゃない。とにかく乾杯したいの。
はいはい、わかりました。
乾杯。
Legit 2 episodes from the end as we are. I do not know how these two become a duet. Ranka and Cheryl.
一気かよ。
こういうの
い
ずっと夢だったの。
え？
ただの独り言。さあ食べましょう。いただきます。
Yeah, that's how I would eat chopsticks.
もうアルトのくせに
Stab, eat, piss off everyone else at the restaurant.
おいおい、いくら酒じゃないと言っても、そいつは。
Then what? If it's not alcohol, then what? You'll get full quicker? What?
うるさい。アルタのくせに。
I guess to be fair, he didn't say it's not alcoholic. He just not alcohol.
Yeah.
帰っちゃダメよ。ずっとそばにいなさい。
Manipulation. What we need is to have a therapist watch this show and comment to us what the fuck is going on.
無理もないか。
ありがとね、ブレラさん。私のわがままに付き合ってこんなところまで。
Oh, he's not doing it for you.
命令は絶対。それを遂行することが存在意義だった。だがお前の歌を聴いたとき、俺の中に何かが溢れた。戦闘マシンであるはずの俺に。これはその例だ。だから気にするな。
ブレラさん。もう一度。
I don't know what the hell is going on with Orbit, though.
あの曲のこと。
What?
Well, that thing that's going around the planet, it has to be connected to the planet, because otherwise it's so low in orbit that it should just fall.
唯一の。
それって。
バジラの防衛部隊だ。
It's the song that you play on the harmonica all the time.
本当に大丈夫なのか。
うん。きっと届くと思う。これまでだってやれたんだから。
If the one thing the Vajra will never adapt to, music. Technically, the Vajra will do the same thing that the Zentradi never learned to do. Turn the radio off.
さんの歌です。
ここからが正念場だな。はい。
モニカ、こっちにも回して観測を手伝うわ。
頼むぞ。連中は必ず動くはずだ。
Yeah, their mother's song.
懐かしいな。そう、よくこうやって一緒に。ブレラさん、このハーモニカ。
I never learned how to play it.
お前の願いが届くように。
They better not kill I. It's the only one I really care about anymore.
僕が呼んでもらったんだよ、アルト君。びっくりしたかな？そういう顔してるよ。
先ほど探査機が微弱なホールド波を捉えてね。ランカ君の歌だと判明したよ。
そう。ついに。
Ah, yes, I clearly know how to read this.
それをなぜ自分に？
期待しているからね。これから我々が行わなければならない戦いで心置きなく働いてもらいたいんだ。
戦うのは構いません。自分はそのために残りました。ですがその前に伺っておきたいことがあります。なんだ？戦いの目的はフォールドクォーツを手に入れるためですか？
おほう、なるほど。彼らは星間物質や構成からフォールドクォーツの原料を集めて回る習性があるからね。
だが我々は何よりもまず生き延びなければならないんだ。そしてバジラを殲滅しなければならない。人類の未来のために。
人類の未来？
バジラは人間を抹殺しようとしているんだよ。ランカ君を足がかりにしてね。
Whatever the hell that makes sense.
所詮は相入れない生き物だということか。
そんなことない。だって
口を閉じていろ。来るぞ。
Legitimately, keeping her mouth shut has never solved any problem so far.
そして相手がどれだけ異様だろうと、脳を持つ生物ならば少なくとも行動原理は理解できる。だがバジラは違う。ようやく判明したんだよ。脳を持たない彼らがなぜ生物として成立しているのか。彼らは腸で、より正確に言えばホールド波を放つ腸内細菌のネットワークで情報伝達を行う。そしてそのネットワークはバジラの群れ全体にも拡大され、一個体が一つのシナプスのような位置づけになっている。そう、バジラには個体や自己といった概念はない。一つの群れ、一つの
Wouldn't that mean that the more Vajra you kill, the dumber they get?
これなら言語、いや、そもそも他者とのコミュニケーションすら不要だ。フォールド波によるネットワーク生物、それがバジラなのだよ。
でもランカは、あいつの歌はバジラに通じていたはずだ。
ならなぜそれが可能なのか考えてみたことはあるのかね。あの細菌は決して我々の腸に定着しない。それどころか脳を侵し死をもたらすというのに。例外があるとすれば、生まれる以前母体内で感染しバジラとの共存を選んだ。またバジラ側も彼女を利用しようとした。そうとしか考えられない。だからバジラはランカ君を
Except it's only been one way.
彼女は人類の
She communicates to them, they aren't communicating to her. Except the dream. I already did the dream thing.
Yeah. Of course, we know that Leon is a lying shit as well, so.
お前は絶対に守る。
でもそれじゃダメなの。
Yeah, but he wouldn't lie about that. Not because I don't think he would as a character. I think narratively you can't have him give exposition in us.
A lot.
Yeah, because it has to be true to us, the viewer.
Yeah.
待て、ランカ。
お願いアイくん。みんなに伝えて。私、あなたたちに伝えたいことが。
ランカ。
お兄ちゃん。お兄ちゃん。
ランカ。
It's to be fair, I guess you can't really hearts and minds the Vajra.
Yeah.
よくやったわ、ブレラ。トレーサーを切ったくらいじゃ。あなたと私のつながりは。
Also, he did went rogue.
大佐。
バジュラには感づかれたみたいね。ほんとムカつく虫ども。妹さんとの逃避行は楽しかった？
妹だとランカが。
そうよ。でももう魔法の時間はおしまい。12時の鐘
Time to erase all your memories again. Oh, I guess I was right.
対症療法とはいえ、進行を遅らせる効果はあるんです。
Examination result is that Adobe has some of the best deals available.
私の力は強まってるんでしょ。
人を道具として使うつもりなら、とことん冷酷になりなさい。 シェリルさん。優しいのは罪よ。それが同情だって分かっていても甘えたくなるから。
You want to turn this into a song?
アルトさん。
あんなに小さかったんだな、親父。
そう見えるとすれば、あなたが変わったんでしょう。
You see the old man in a hospital in a wheelchair, and he's like, "Aha!" Look at the smile that was on well, not in this scene, but it looks, before he was grinning.
できるわけないだろう。俺は軍のパイロットなんだ。俺たちが戦わなきゃみんな死んじまう。
それが本当にあなたの望んだ道なのですか？戦って殺すことが。アルトさん、私にはあなたが成り行きで戦っているとしか見えない。あなたは敵がいてもいなくてもパイロットになったのですか？
I legit don't know what his brother's end game could possibly be. It does
He just
not
wants him
appear
to
to
go
me
back.
that he's ever going to rejoin the acting company in like the last 2 episodes.
その時々で望まれた役を演じ
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what his again. There's no possible way he gets what he wants by the end of the show. So having him in the last 2 episodes.
あなたがなぜ何を求めているのか。
Nonetheless, the acting metaphor is going to inspire him to some sort of action. Oh, maybe if I just act like a Vajra.
なんか俺は
Also, do you find that formation familiar?
Sorry, I was just making a joke. No, I'm a virgin. I didn't know what...
No, we've seen it before. Yeah, but you're like a cyborg. I don't think you can like upload yourself into that shit.
お前はどうするつもりだ？
遠いな。ずいぶん遠くに来た気がするよ。SMS に入ったのはついこの前みたいなもんなのにな。
Yes, it was 22 episodes ago. 21 episodes.
軍人になるのは一族の伝統だ。だから兵士になるのに疑問はなかった。そういうものだと思ってたからな。
俺もそう思ってた。俺は役者になるもんだと。でも空に憧れ家から出た。パイロット目指して。そして俺はあいつに出会った。あいつを守るために SMS に入ることを選んだ。戦うことを守ることを。それからずっと。
いきなり昔話か。
確かに俺は今まで逃げてたのかもしれない。いろんなものに気づかないふりをして。でもそれも終わりだ。
Is that Luca?
ちっぽけでほんの少しのバランスで壊れちまう世界。でもみんなここで生きてる。生き続けたいと願ってる。
I guess not. I guess it was just a visual metaphor.
ランカがバジラの道具にされるなら、あいつの歌が俺たちを滅ぼそうとするなら。
If Superman's evil, we have to take it as a 100% certainty.
アルト、それが 前の愛が
So they're just not on Alto's side. Okay. Not Luca, but Cheryl.
でも今だけもう少しだけ
まだ光学分析段階ですが A クラスの居住可能惑星と推定されます。距離は30光年。現在の備蓄エネルギーをすべて吐き出せば跳躍可能です。
よし。
I mean, the fleet's only got 4 months of life in it, so.
Yeah.
バジラの母星に向け緊急ホールドを行う。フロンティア行政府よりお知らせします。まもなく30光年の短距離ホールドが行われます。
ついに来たな。
あ
あの星こそ我らの約束の地だ。聖なる戦いを始めよう。
You're bad at making paper airplanes.
Yeah.
Well, because we only make the one kind of paper airplane in this show.
Yeah.
That's the one with the
True.
folded up tipped wings on the end. The real squat ones.
I used to know how to do both.
I haven't made a paper airplane in fucking forever. I was legit watching the episodes earlier when I was taking my notes where, at the very end, Ranka asked him to show her how to make paper airplanes. And I was like, sitting here thinking to myself, how do you make a paper airplane again? So I had to like walk myself through the steps in my head just to remember. So I don't think I've been a paper airplane since I was like
I get a practice. I haven't done it. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It's like, okay, fold the paper over, then you fold the inner side to make the triangle bit at the beginning. You fold that up, and then you make the wings. It's like, okay, now I remember.
Yeah, but the one with the wing has a little catch you got to make so that it doesn't open up. At least the way I used to make them. So you have to do a thing where it catches the upper part of the surface. Otherwise, it will open up like this.
You can fold that one in the same way that you do when you're doing present wrapping.
Yeah.
The corner bits, you do a little fold on the inside so they make it easier to tape shut.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing with the very front of the plane. So that the air flows right through the center of it.
人類とバジュラアルトたちの旅はついに最終局面を迎える次回ラストフロンティア決戦の歌銀河に響け
Yeah, well, legitimately, the human fleet shows up at the Vajra homeworld right when we have the planet-destroying weapons. Oh, yeah, and Little Girl, which hasn't been used yet. No, we did use it. Never mind. We used that one on Island 3 to get rid of all the Vajra invading the fleet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we still have, planet-destroying weapons.
Oh, man. That's not without... I mean, but the Frontier needs the planet in order to survive.
I mean, no, because it still has 4 months to find another planet.
Because they said they're going to... No, because they said they were going to use their last energy reserves to jump to that planet. So it's all or nothing now.
Well, that's dumb.
And you talk, Leon's talking about a holy war, fight the Vajra, kill the Vajra, the holy war thing. So if he believes that the only way to survive is to kill the Vajra, then that's what he's going to try to do.
I don't know. I want to think maybe there's an element of the fact that we watched this really early on my time, and maybe there's an element I'm just tired, and that's clouding my mentality a little bit. I have to say, I think Macross 7 did a better job at this point in the show. Macross 7's lead up to the large attack was a really good introspection on all the characters, the relationships, and all the development that they've gone through so far, culminating in some long-needed character togetherness moments. It's one of my top 5 episodes of the show, and that would be this episode where it would fall in the Macross 7 spectrum. I'm not saying this episode was as good as that one. I'm saying it's not as good as that one, and it's the same episode in the same order.
Yeah, no,
we're getting
I
ready
think
for
they're
the big thing, and that's where this one lies. And it's also the same numbered episode, and that one was really good. And then this one is like, what the fuck are you doing, Alto? So
I think what they're doing is they're leaving it to the very last. They're doing a thing modern anime does, where they leave stuff to the very last minute, right? Whether it's a romance, whether it's a final battle. So like, we're not going to resolve this issue until like the last 5 minutes or so of the show, right? So they're doing that where they keep stacking stuff up. And because I've seen that also in a lot of rom-coms, like, oh, are they going to still be together or not at the end or whatever? And they're like, the last 5 minutes, like, the guy or is rushing to tell her, oh, I love you, whatever. And I think that's what they're doing. But in the case of like space battles and everything else, right?
I was like, legit, you said, I watched that in a lot of rom-coms. You mean the thing you primarily watch?
As of late, I didn't used to watch a lot of rom-coms. I was more of a, giant robot anime kind of stuff. That's why I think one of the reasons I didn't watch anime for like decades. Like I watched one or two, but wasn't really into it, was because it was like, oh, there's no great giant robot animes, and that's why I got into anime. So, I'm not doing it. But
I don't know. My thing here is that what typically hooks me, apparently, in a number of these shows is the mystery element, solving the mystery, even though it feels like I get the mystery right, like real early, and then just put the pieces together to make my already correct theory actually viable as an explanation. And then when the mystery's gone because it's already been solved, what I'm left is with the character interaction shit, which is Macross's main thing, but also a lot of the times its worst thing.
Well, here's the thing: is that I like these characters as flawed because they're that flawed, because they have problems communicating, not because they don't want to, because they have a problem. I really like Alto in spite of everything else. It's the way I like Hikaru, right?
I like Alto's backstory thing. Like the whole, I was mocking it I wasn't actually mocking it. I just don't understand what they're trying to do since we have so few episodes left. The element of, hey, your dad's getting sick. We'd really like if you returned back to the business. I'm kind of your brother, and I'm doing everything I can to convince you that what you're doing isn't actually what you want, but it's just what you think you want now. And that is somewhat compelling. I could follow that for like in a whole arc, but what are we doing here with it? Because it doesn't feel like it's necessary anymore. It doesn't add to anything. Like the fact that they added Alto seeing Cheryl as his mother for a half of a second, and then we just dropped that too, just so I guess we could introduce telling Cheryl about his mother. So, even though Alto doesn't bring up the fact what he saw, or really even react to it all that much. I like Alto as a series of characteristics. Alto as a person I do not like.
I still like him.
Yeah.
I
like him as much as I like anybody on Beverly Hills 90210, which is to say they're a series of idiots who are falling in love and then hurting each other for no respective reason other than the fact that they're all teenagers.
Well, until they weren't, but yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that Alto deserves Cheryl. It's the element of she's manipulative, he's an idiot. They go well together. Whereas Ranka is this innocent girl who's been sheltered due to the traumas that have been inflicted upon her from the outside, and throughout her life. But I don't know. I like her as a character, but her element of backstory stuff isn't as interesting to me as Alto's. So everyone has like these little narrative flaws to them. Because hers is just like basically an amnesia story. But it's an amnesia story that is so obvious that halfway through the show I figured it out. And it's like, oh, I wonder who this cyborg guy is. It's his brother. It's your brother. It's obviously your brother. It's like, I didn't need the picture or the memory flashbacks or anything. It's like the instant he played the same song as her. It's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So,
yeah, but it's also the process in which he is figuring it out. So that takes time.
But again, I don't know.
I mean, we're allowed to know stuff that the characters don't know.
Yeah, I know. I just don't find that as interesting. Like, I appreciate, like, if I'm watching like a murder mystery and I'm like following the detective as he's picking up clues, and then he's putting it together, and I'm like, oh no, yeah, I got it. I figured it out before the detective figures it out. I feel smart then. But not so much when it's like a character figuring out their own backstory, because that's not a journey that we're on together, like I am with like a murder mystery and a detective, right? That is a different context, and it leads towards a different way of experiencing that medium, versus Renka not figuring out the thing that's blatantly obvious to us, the viewer, because I don't know. You don't want to feel too much smarter than the character you're supposed to be rooting for, right? You don't want to root for the dumbass.
Well, she's not a dumbass, and she's literally suffering from
I didn't say she was a dumbass. I said you don't want to root for a dumbass.
Yeah.
Somebody who's so dumb, you're going to get frustrated at trying to support them, right? There's a reason why only kids enjoy Blue's Clues. How many times do you say, it's over there, you fucking stupid blue dog? Right? How many times do you see a flashback of Barrera's face before you're like, oh, that's Barrera?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So Renka's backstory element past like episode 10 ceases to be really of interest until they make it a point again that, oh, she hasn't figured it out. So that's why I said Alto as a personality, as a character, I've got little interest in. He might as well be Basara in my aspect. And that he's again, you and me are interested in and frustrated by different things and characters. Basara's non-interaction was not as much of a roadblock for me as it was for you, because not having a personality is not a roadblock. It's literally just a empty flat plane, versus having a bad personality or being so stupid and hurting people around you is a series of roadblocks.
Yeah. I disagree on the fact that he's still deliberately, well, not deliberately trying to hurt people.
Again, you keep sticking into deliberately when I've never said deliberate.
But it feels like that would be the key here.
No, he's obtuse, is what I've said.
Yeah.
He's not deliberately hurt. Well, maybe now he is. Now he's literally said the whole Ben Affleck, if Batman's evil line. If Renka's siding with the Vajra, there's a 1% chance that Renka is siding with the Vajra. We have to take it as absolute certainty. Now he is being deliberate. But before I was accusing him of being obtuse.
But also I think he's also
when I call him stupid, when I'm calling him stupid, that's when I'm alluding to the being obtuse.
Remember, he's going by the information he was given by the president. What's his name?
Well, we didn't get to read the message that got sent out, so we don't know if they were saying, "Hey, Leon's not on the up and up." We don't know what they're saying. So
he's going for what the information he had, which is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what information he has vis-a-vis the message that was sent, because if we don't know if they said anything about Leon at all. This is a blank spot in our knowledge where the character knows something for once that we don't.
Yeah, but I don't think he knows. Otherwise, I don't think he would have just go along with it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna.
Ironically, it's why I said he was acting before. It would fit into his skill set, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to be acting. He seems to be he's acting in the sense that he's doing, but not.
He could be really good at it.
No.
He might not seem like he's acting because he's acting his heart out.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a twist. It would make me interested in his character again. Because right now, I could give two shits about him. I could give two shits if we went back to the frontier, and we could just focus entirely on Renka and her adventures on Vajra Planet, and I'd be happier. I guess, except for Luca, and I know I don't remember her name every time, but it's still a more interesting relationship that I find I have with Alto and Cheryl. Just because you're dying does not make you interesting. Everyone's dying. Literally every human being alive is dying. You're just doing it a little bit faster than everybody else. It's not false. Might be an asshole take, but it's not false.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, she's been manipulative. She hurt Renka, which, it's a strike against her in my book.
I don't think she
went out of her way to manipulate the situation to make sure that she was the one with Alto just about every time. The only time she didn't was when she was too sick to get out of bed and had to have Michael watch her while Alto ran off with Renka.
Part of that actually was Grace as well, because I think she actually was rooting for Ranka, at least professionally anyway.
Professionally, I'm talking about relationship. And then
I don't see it that way.
And then once Renka usurped her professionally, she didn't want any of that either.
Yeah, but by that time she was discarded by Grace. Like, oh yeah, we're done with you. You're dying through you. So it was like, I lost everything. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for her for the manipulations of Grace, but I still doesn't mean. Look, here's the problem, and well, one problem is obviously this is where I've lost the audience completely. But the thing is that they're always going to shit on me, and they're never going to mention you for some reason. Because that's how. Yeah, I said I didn't like bits of Macross Plus, which was only 4 episodes, by the way. You shat on Macross 7 for 20 episodes, even though it's one of the most popular series. Nobody even mentions you.
See, that's how important I am.
No, I'm just saying that I can just passing sentence. I don't like that character. This isn't sitting well with me. What the fuck is wrong with that guy on the right? Versus you. I just don't like this show. I just don't like, not my kind of music either. The fuck. No one talks about you at all. It's like, what the fuck? I've talked to people who don't even know that I'm the main host of the show. So it's not that. They're not putting me in importance because they think I'm control the show. Since I put you on the left, that's the first camera position, some people think you run the show. So, I don't know.
Well, that means that they should be going after me more, but apparently that's not an issue.
That's what I'm indicating. That I don't know. Maybe I just got a face like that, a hateable face.
I expected people to hate me for Macross 7, but I guess I'm so underwhelming that I don't even register. It's like, oh yeah, that guy's there.
I guess I got lucky.
I opened his mouth, so
yeah, I got lucky, and I liked Macross 7, so we're not getting a lot of hate there. I guess no one cares that you don't like the show, and I didn't speak ill of it, so we're good. But I don't know. The fact that I'm coming down on these characters here at the very end, where I guess a lot of people would probably expect that I'd have the most emotional attachment to them, is where I'm expecting to get the hate from. Because again, I find Cheryl to be a selfish character, and I know she's dying, but I don't know. There's an element there that it just isn't attached to me. Maybe because of my own personal situation these days, but she's selfish, manipulative. She does have good qualities, even though I can't think of them off the top of my head. Probably because I'm just in a negative space right now. But in the fact that Alto is dense, I guess is the main word. I'm going to look here. He doesn't notice what's going on around him or the situations, that to the point that Michael has had to have many conversations with him on the subject, indicating what's going on. Alto has had advocates for both Renka and Cheryl coming after him.
Yeah.
And he still doesn't recognize what's going on. Again, why I say he deserves Cheryl. Cheryl is manipulative, getting him to do the things that he needs to do to even be close to having a relationship with her. Whereas Renka is too sheltered to even think on that level. Yeah. So, I don't know. Obviously, Michael had the best backstory in the most complicated relationship going forward, so that I guess he had to die. And Clan's not really doing anything anymore.
And like I said, look sexy in a Centrati battle suit, I suppose.
I would say be careful
When
now
she's-
because half the time your
Yes,
words are
yes.
problematic.
Yes, I said when she is in that
When
position.
she's a 1,000-year-old vampire, maybe not, but yeah, I'm saying the captain guy, that relationship's done nothing. Like literally, what, 2 episodes? We've gotten a butt grab and the captain's wife is dead. Maybe
Yeah.
he's looking for somebody. You'd make a good wife someday. Cool. Bridge bunnies are getting up to all the bridge bunny stuff you'd expect. The biggest bridge bunny thing is that black-eyed girl turns out has regular eyes. Has been the
Yeah.
biggest thing for me.
Not an alien.
Who am I missing?
Luca,
Luca.
I think
Luca has
yeah.
a ton of stuff going on, but remains as uninteresting as possible. Like, dude's literally playing like conspiracy. He's might be a part of the whole presidential assassination shit. You gotta think Leon must be going after him eventually at some point too, because he's part of everything that's happening so far. Dude's making explosive weapons. He's on the wrong side right now. Could not be getting less screen time, by the way. Oh, by the way, he's got a love interest that he hasn't confessed to, who's currently in a coma. You figure this dude should be on screen most of the time. You know, telling the comatose girl how much he feels while she's comatose, so he can at least have said it, even if she doesn't hear him. Getting comatose scenes of her in like a dreamscape, maybe hearing the words and interpreting them in a mental dreamscape, because we've done it with Renko. Why not with her? Like, there are missed opportunities here with characters that have very interesting storylines going on.
I think for that, and I said this for going back to Macross 7, I said Macross 7 was too long. I think the problem with Frontier is because they were going for that 25-year, the 25 being the arc number, right? It's too short. I would add about 5 episodes in between, not all at once, not at the end, but like intermittent, make it an even 30, and you could have like an episode which is mostly, say, Luca and Anase, and mostly an episode. Well, we did kind of have an episode that was mostly Ranka and Osman, but really an episode more. I think more episodes, especially that transition between Kathy being with Leon, it's like, oh, he's my fiance, whatever. We're sleeping together. To really transitioning to, okay, Osma is gonna be my focus now, right? They happens, but happens more like, oh, there's this conspiracy, so I guess we got to throw it together, kind of thing. And that duality of the conspiracy plus their own getting back together relationship, I think could have gotten at least an episode or more just to themselves, so they could fully develop.
I actually would disagree with you.
Yeah,
I can see where you're going, and you could certainly go that way. I would say actually just you should probably cut a couple of these plot threads and tighten it up a little bit more, and just make it in a modern 24 episode single season, or maybe a 2-season 12 episode run, where cover the character backstory stuff a bit with season 1, and then second season would be Ranka and the Vajra stuff, because that way, because there's you could run the whole Nanase, Luca, Captain, Bridge Bunnies, Grace and what she's up to, sort of, hint at maybe that's the cliffhanger of season 1, that Grace isn't everything you think she is. All the character backstories, interaction stuff in season 1, so that when we go into season 2, they're all established, their relationships and everything. And then we go on to the whole Renka Vajra thing, where Cheryl starts getting sick, because that's when we start expressing that bit of the Grace isn't everything we think storyline. But yeah, no, I would I don't know, maybe make Nanase not even a character. Like, really just tighten it up by making her inconsequential. That way we get rid of all the interaction between her and Luca. I would almost say get rid of Luca too. He doesn't add all that much to the show, other than some comedy bits with him and Nanase. If you get rid of them, we just have LAI as a corporate entity and not as a person who's in the show to be represented. So LAI could just be part of what Grace's interaction with stuff is. Just get rid of that, and maybe that's like, I think if you get rid of that all across the entire season, that could get rid of at least an episode. An episode's worth of runtime, I mean.
Yeah. I think, that could work. I would ask for more, but because I really like these characters, I like to see what happens with Nana Say and Luke and all that. You don't care, so you can be cut out. Different takes.
Well, no, I would be interested. It's just I don't think it's interesting enough to add more episodes for. Because again, we got this far without them doing very much at all. Like, I would need so much more to make it interesting enough to want more episodes for.
Except for having NSA be the constant, Herring Clang being the boob job jokes, which they dropped, thank God. But,
like
that basically with NSA was, especially early on, it was like, oh, it's the girl, the teenage girl with the giant rack. That was the whole joke. What I'm saying
is that we get a lot of passing stuff.
Yeah.
I would want more Michael and his relationship to his sister and how that affects his current day, and maybe that lead in to Clan and her relationship to Michael. More of their backstory together than just flash shots of the past. Yeah. Like that, the more serious stuff. I would want more of the serious stuff, less of the jokey bits. Like, I do love a comedy. I'm not saying the comedy is the bad part here. It's just they introduce us to this very serious stuff, and then they do nothing with it. Like, what was the payoff of Michael's sister other than an episode?
Yeah.
Sorry, my apparently conversation with you messed up.
Oh, okay.
No, I was looking a corner of my eye, our Discord window and everything. It's jumped up to the Robert De Niro, she's got a great ass. I'm like, what? So I thought, maybe he was sending me a message like, wrap it up, shut the fuck up, stop shitting on my favorite show. It's like, okay, what the hell was that?
Yeah, no, I didn't touch anything. I didn't say anything.
I don't know. I guess Discord messed up. My point is to wrap up the entire thought process here is the elements that you would mock Macross 7 for like dropping the ball on, I feel like Macross Frontier also drops the ball on it. It's just that Macross Frontier starts off really strong and doesn't have as bad of dips as Macross 7 has. Like, we didn't just like almost fall into a sun for no reason, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have an episode of fighting Mayor Milia where it's like a minute of her doing a fight, and then the rest of the episode is also just nonsense too. The episodes are essentially solid baseline, but then they peak like, oh, my sister fucking committed suicide because she was accused of a crime that I say she didn't commit. I have no evidence as a viewer to say that maybe she did or she didn't. But very serious thing. By the way, did you know Clan's got big boobs? Like, what? Clan. But my sister might commit suicide. By the way, I can't get close to people anymore now. Clan might have a thing for me, but then again, but the episode's over. Never mind. Just keep going. Baseline again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We have these really interesting things that we just don't address and we don't let fulfill. And that is my aggravation when it comes to Frontier. You remember way back when we watched episode, the first 3 episodes, I'm like, oh my god, this is an amazing show. I don't know if that was because I was drowning out because of how bad Macross 7 ended, or the rapist that we got in the movie OVA thing that we had.
Yeah,
it's just like, this was, the baseline was Macross 7's peaks, right? The best of Macross 7 was the through line of Macross Frontier, and that was exciting.
Yeah.
But then I realized there's no variance here. We just keep coming back to the baseline.
It's a good baseline for me. I like it. Overall, I think it's
I'm just trying to think. Obviously, I've just said a lot of negative shit, and that's where people are going to leave me off here, but I think when you put it against a show like maybe Seed or Destiny, obviously not Seed, because it's not a good comparison for you. You watch the compilation movies.
Yeah.
we're seeing Destiny, I don't feel like there's a baseline for Destiny. It is variable all over the place because we're constantly being moved from one hook to the next hook. And they all feel like they're important, and they all feel like they're going somewhere. Granted, we haven't finished. They can all just drop off a cliff and we just fall into a sun, for all we know. But I feel like we're all over the place with those. There's no baseline. Because you know what a baseline represents, right?
Yeah.
No heartbeat. You're dead. I need some variance to keep me at the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Well, since I already watched the series, I guess I can't go back to that. I'm going back to what I remember. It's like, oh, I liked it when I saw it. I'm still liking it now. Maybe not as, I guess I maybe not hold it right now as high regard as I used to, right? Because I seen it again. It's like, yeah, well. And again, I go to the problem of, I think also the movies. I'm not saying the movies are better. I'm saying that I think the movies left a bigger impression on me. And so I always sort of superimpose it on the series, right? Because the movies they're different, but they're not SDF Macross to Do You Remember Love, right? Which was radically different in many ways, right? Here, it's retelling. The movies are a retelling of what's happened, better special effects, there's different scenes, of course, rearrangement, a couple of things, but it's fundamentally the same story, beat for beat, right? And so,
I gotta say, I wish you wouldn't have told me that. I did not know that. I didn't know that the movies were like compilations for the show.
No, they're not compilations.
Well, you're saying they're shot for shot. I thought
no.
I thought the movies were actually just completely different stories. So I did not know this.
They are their own continuity because they do change.
No. I mean, like they were going to be like events that happen after the show. That they're just new stuff. I didn't know that they were just this again, but with their own continuity or whatever. So that's disappointing, actually.
So I disappoint you.
Yeah, no, I was expecting new stuff. I know you're saying there's like what I'm expecting now is what I'm going to be expecting from like the Gundam movies. Like they're going to be different, like stuff added or changed stuff. Yeah, but they're going to be the show still. Yeah, that's not what I was thinking. So that's somewhat of a disappointment. Because I was actually looking forward, even though I've just shat on the show for a good half hour straight, I was looking forward to the movies as more, because I would have expected the movies are going to be what I thought the movies were going to be, was, okay, we're done with the Vajra storyline now, but we still have stories we want to tell with the characters, so let's explore these other elements of the characters' interactions or world building that we can do after the Vajra storyline, which is what I thought it was going to be. Because all I have is really the names of the movies. So slightly disappointment there.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint. And in that miserable note.
Yeah, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?